Well, Mr. Coovadia, thank you so much for joining us. Now, Islamic banking undoubtedly offers a great opportunity for diversifying the investor base and, of course, raising investor interest rather in Africa. So how then does it seek to diversify that funding sources as markets look, or rather seek for new investment opportunities to maximize returns on capital?
Well, I think Africa has a significant Muslim population. And I think that it's a population that's beginning to identify far more closely with Islam and Islamic more than norms than before. So I think there's undoubtedly a market for Islamic finance on the continent. I also think that there will be interest from some of the Middle Eastern countries to actually invest and participate in Islamic finance on the continent. If you look at South Africa, if you look at Al Baraka Bank, for instance, still small, but has grown significantly in the last few years. To me, the one issue about Islamic banking is that I think that we should look at it as another product, another offering by the banking sector. I don't think it should be too closely linked to the religion itself. I think that it should be open to anybody who wants to use such a product rather than just to Muslims. Because I think that too often what happens, particularly in today's climate and on Africa, we're beginning to see some of the terrorist activity and so on, which in my view wrongly linked to the religion. So you don't want Islamic banking to be tainted by that. Islamic banking should be offered as a product that could be suitable for certain people's particular profile. Obviously offered to Muslims because it's linked to their beliefs, but also offered to others.
Why do you think there's such a slow growth in particularly North African states of Islamist banking? And as you rightly put it, there's a wider Muslim population in Africa. Why do you think the growth is moving at a snail pace in that region?
No, I think that even in North Africa, our banking system has been based on either primarily on Britain or else on Australia or some other Western countries. I don't think that the regulatory environment has been created even in so-called Islamic countries in North Africa to actually promote Islamic banking. And banking today is dominated, the regulatory aspect of banking is dominated by what happened at the Basel Committee, what happened at the G20, particularly post the crisis. And I think that what countries in Africa need to begin to do is to see what sort of regulatory environment is necessary to enable Islamic banking. Certainly the Reserve Bank here is looking at those things, so they're looking at sukuks and stuff like that. And I think to a great extent it's a regulatory environment. I think also to an extent it's actually convincing people and marketing the product well so that people are convinced that this is not an inferior type of banking. With the appropriate regulatory environment, it's an additional product offering that people would be interested in.
Do you think the growth of Islamist banking poses a major threat to the BRICS Development Bank?
No, because the BRICS Development Bank is going, the plans are that it's going to be exactly that. It will be a development bank, okay? The Islamic banking we're talking about is commercial banking to private clients. The BRICS Development Bank will get involved in major infrastructure financing, primarily major infrastructure financing, and it will do what things like the African Development Bank do, what the Development Bank of Southern Africa does. So I don't think the BRICS Development Bank will have any negative impact on the emergence of Islamic banking on the continent.